So today's cooking show, we're going to be making fondant. Fondant is a thin layer of frosting that makes a cake look smooth. You usually see them in professional wedding cakes or professional cakes you buy at a store. But I'm going to teach you how to make a really fun and easy way to make great tasting fondant using marshmallows and powdered sugar. So the fondant recipe that I'm doing right now, to make enough fondant to cover one cake, all you need is 16 ounces of marshmallow and 2 pounds of powdered sugar. We're going to be making 2, so that's why I have 2 bags of marshmallow and 2 bags of powdered sugar. So to start, we're just going to open up one of the bags of marshmallow and empty it into a microwave-safe bowl. What you need to do is add a tablespoon or 2 of water. That way when you put it in the microwave, it actually will help the marshmallows melt a little bit quicker. And then I'm going to put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Now this is a really cool way to introduce kids to baking, because kids like to help out in the kitchen, and our next step is going to get a little bit messy, and kids like to get messy.
Very messy.
Yeah. So once it comes out of the microwave, a lot of it is not going to be melted. So you're going to notice at the bottom of the bowl, if you look, has some melted marshmallow. So what you're going to want to do is take a spoon and just kind of mix it around to kind of get the marshmallows going. And then you're going to want to put it back in the microwave for another 30 seconds. Each time you do that, you want to add a little bit more water. Not a lot of water, or else it's going to get soggy and gross. And you're going to want to keep doing this until you have a gooey marshmallow consistency. So since we're going to be adding the sugar soon, I should mention that because it's melted marshmallow, it does get very, very sticky. So one way to combat with this is actually a lot of fun. We use Crisco. Now, we don't put Crisco straight into it. We're going to actually coat our hands with it so the dough doesn't stick to our hands.
Kind of like a moisturizer almost.
Yeah.
My hands are really soft after making this.
Oh
every
yeah,
time.
You're going to notice that your hands are going to be fantastically moisturized once you're done.
All right, so let's start.
And this is why it's a great activity for kids, because this is like Play-Doh to them. Yeah, you might need a little bit more Crisco. You're getting stuck.
A lot. This is one batch here. This is enough for a larger size cake, so just one box of that good old store-bought cake mix will do the trick with this fondant. You'll probably have enough leftovers.
Melted, it cools down really quickly. So it will get molten hot, but then cool within a minute.
Yeah, I'm just kind of scraping up some of the extras that got stuck to the side, but I think that was enough Crisco this time. I'm not quite as sticky as I was before.
Yes, but you made a good point for everybody. So at this point, you have a nice doughy consistency to decorate your cake with. The next step you're going to want to do is decide what you actually want to do with it, because if you're going to be using food dye, you're going to have to section it off before doing anything else in adding food dye to those individual sections. Because once you add blue food dye to the whole thing, you're never going to get a bright red. So for this cake, we're going to be making polka dots, blue, green, and yellow polka dots. So we want to section this off into little sections and then make a blue, a green, and a yellow.
That's great. While she's doing that, I'm actually rolling out this main piece of fondant, and we're gonna actually add this onto a cake that I made. When you're adding your fondant to the cake, you'll still want some traditional frosting. I just, again, got mine store-bought for making it easy on myself today. It'll help the fondant to stick because this fondant now is not very sticky. We put enough cornstarch on it that it's really smooth, it's like a dough, and it's gonna hold its shape really, really well. I'm gonna just wipe the excess off. Cornstarch doesn't really have a whole lot of a flavor either, so don't be worried that you have a lot on it. Your cake is still gonna taste sugary and delicious.
And carefully peel it off the table because
it might have stuck at this point.
Yeah, it might have stuck, and if it sticks, then it's going to rip. The good news about it though is because it's marshmallow, if it rips, all you have to do is stick it back in the microwave and roll it back out again.
Now we're gonna place our fondant on our cake.
And the frosting helps.
Bring it over here.
Yeah, the frosting helps make it stick. And the great thing about fondant is that it's actually going to mold to the cake, so you're not even going to have any.
We have our cake, our white cake, ready to go. I'm going to put this off to the side. Now I'm going to work with our yellow here, and I'm going to, again, with my cornstarch surface, roll it out. I'm going to cut some big polka dots on it, so it's going to be this really nicely green, blue, and yellow polka dot. Now, this piece of yellow is very cornstarched. So I'm going to show you how you can make it stick. The key is just some water.
Yeah, because you're going to notice if you try to stick it to the cake without adding a little bit of water, what's going to happen is it's going to fall right off. And when we say water, we don't mean dunk it in water.
I mean just make your finger wet
and rub it on top of it.
It'll melt that cornstarch in and make it stick to your cake. Now, I have a lot of cornstarch on this. So again, we're just gonna have that cornstarch melt right into the cake.
Yeah,
using that water. Just a very little bit because you don't want it to get soggy or anything.
Yeah, you're gonna notice that by the time you're done, your cake is gonna look like it's covered in cornstarch. What I usually do is I decorate it, I make it all pretty, and then I take a paper towel and I just get it very little damp. That way you can just run it over and it almost wipes the cornstarch off of it. And it gives it a nice shiny texture. And you have a beautiful cake to present to your friends that was fun and easy to make.
Wonderful. I can't wait to taste it.
It's gonna be yummy.
Mm-hmm.